B. Now without their goalkeeper Robin Olsen as well, after a falling out with the coach Jon Dahl Tomasson recently. Sweden's World Cup dream appears a little cloudy right now. And Switzerland seen it all very clearly from the summit of Group B. 2 games, 2 wins, and they are yet to concede as well. Here come the national anthems of Sweden and Switzerland. There is a scenario that could see the Swiss have a World Cup spot booked by early next week. They would need to win here tonight to have a chance of doing that. There are mass Swedish changes from the team beaten last month against Kosovo. 6 alterations, the most predictable of them all, but still the most notable in goal. Robin Olsen's unexpected retirement from international duty after that sizable disagreement with the coach Jon Dahl Tomasson means that Victor Johansson's the #1 now. And also into the team, Lagerbielke, Karlström, Bergvall, Stemmer, and the fit again, captain Alexander Isak. Anthony Elanga is amongst those who have been left out tonight by Tomasson. Certainly does feel like a clash of the concerned against the confident tonight at Strawberry Arena. They are the 11 that wear the pressure tonight. Anthony Taylor of England, fresh from Premier League duties at Stamford Bridge last weekend when he took charge of Chelsea's win against Alexander Isak's Liverpool. The opposite end of the spectrum to their host, Switzerland's team unaltered after the win against Slovenia that made it 2 victories from 2 in Group B. And the story tonight could be Bril Mbolo. He has scored in each of his last 5 games for Switzerland. It's been almost 100 years since the Swiss player netted in 6 straight matches. The Burak Yakin's team oozes experience. In his back 4 alone, there's over 300 international caps between the 4 of them. And familiarity feels key tonight for Switzerland. 8 of that 11 began Switzerland's last game at a major tournament, their exit on penalties in the Euro 2024 quarter-finals to England. A lot of eyes on Victor Johansson tonight in the absence of Robin Olsen. Sweden's new number 1, wearing the number 12. It's certainly one of the striking games of this set of October UEFA European qualifiers. Chase to be at next summer's big footballing party, bubbling up now. It is a complete sellout in Solna tonight, but that means the nerves are going to be quite visible and perhaps quite audible too. Sweden's ambitions of getting to the World Cup next year, not quite dangling by a thread, but there isn't too much holding the hopes together right now. 1 point from 2 games and facing the Group B leaders Switzerland here. And the team that should offer the sternest test of any of their opponents in these European qualifiers. But it's Sweden with the first chance, and it's Gyökeres set free by Isak, who is just waiting for more to arrive. Gyökeres again managing to hook it wide to Semmer. 4 in the middle, including Isak, away by Alfedi for Switzerland. And then Bolo bustling his way through now all of a sudden for those in red, and Mbolo has carried this a fair distance too. And he's still going in Bolo, and that's the first test pass for Victor Johansson in the Sweden goal. It's sort of fitting that Mbolo would be the one that would try his hand first tonight, considering he is the form player on the pitch right now, at least in international colours. He's not felt any more confident, Mbolo, his international team, than he does right now with those goals in each of his last 5 games. It's free-flowing in the first 2 minutes, and this is Gyökeres again for Sweden. Now Ayari just slipped as he hit it. Gyökeres didn't slip, but didn't get hold of it quite right either. Some promise at least for Jon Dahl Tomasson in the opening couple of minutes here. First non-Swedish native to be in charge of the men's national team since the Englishman George Rayner back in the 1950s. Tomasson taking over from very experienced Janne Andersson last year. Xhaka sent over by Alexander Isak. First tussle of the night between the two captains. On a night where the uber-cool Murat Yakin said this could be a brutally difficult game for Switzerland this evening. This is Vargas stretching things. Finding Xhaka. It's Granit Xhaka, and that's a good save by Johansson. Certainly had to move for that one. Been 2 years since Granit Xhaka's last Swiss goal. Was testing for the bottom corner as well. It needed the intervention of Victor Johansson. First corner of the night, a Swiss corner. Be distributed into the Sweden penalty area by Ruben Vargas. And the goalkeeper thought about coming, and then Bolo has hit the post. Johansson was nowhere on that occasion, and now Sweden might be somewhere. This is Gyökeres, but he ran right into Freuler. What an electric first few minutes here. Bolo again. Johansson's come a long way, and that's Messi, and then Bolo has just been denied. It's going to be another corner. Well, Johansson, after a steady first 2 minutes, has had a rather unorthodox 2 minutes to follow. What was he doing there, the Swedish goalkeeper? Lucky that Isak Hien was on his toes, because he was well adrift, the keeper of that chance for Mbolo too. The Swedish nerves weren't prevalent before the game. They certainly will be now. Another swift corner. There will be more to follow. The lash behind by Alexander Bernhardsson. Just a whisker away, Bril Mbolo, from 6 goals in consecutive games for Switzerland. We're on the front foot, and again the ball is loose inside the penalty area, and once more it will be another Switzerland corner. Alstrom's clearance. This is a short one from Switzerland. Mbolo there again, but this time the connection is from Lager Bielka. The offside flag is going to give Sweden the chance to breathe here, and no one will be breathing more heavily than Jon Dahl Tomasson. On that report card already, isn't there, for Victor Johansson tonight? He's just got to hope his evening settles down now. Very strong words from Swedish legend Freddie Ljungberg, who was working for a national TV station the night that Sweden lost in Kosovo last month. He called the performance totally horrible. Kim Kallström, Sweden's Football Federation's Director of Football, who is here tonight, he said that they do still have absolute confidence in Jon Dahl Tomasson. Just wondering whether Bergvall had made contact with him after he sent that ball upfield there. Nico Alvedi. Hansson. Goodbye, Kanji in Xhaka. Now, of course, back in the Premier League with Sunderland, Granit Xhaka. Hurried away by Johansson. Just calmly back to goalkeeper Korbel from Alvedi. Samuel Akanji has been excellent in the first few games of his season with his new club Inter Milan, on loan from Manchester City. Rodriguez slipping it through. Soy has it taken away from him, but at the cost of another corner from a Sweden perspective. That's a half to making there. Presence felt again in the Sweden penalty area. Alvedi and Akanji. 5 swift corners in the first 9 minutes in Solna. Ruben Vargas with the latest one. Xhaka. And Doi. Here's Isak for Sweden, who lost the ball and then lost his man as well. Still feeling his way back into football, or at least regular football again, Alexander Isak. Still yet to play 90 minutes this season for club or country. So has there really been a night that Sweden have been relying on him more than they do this evening? Hansen. At the moment, Switzerland look the sharper. Here's Granit Xhaka. Get the ball right for Mbolo. Round the corner by Ben Hansen. And she had a head start on Gyökeres. Zoe. Xhaka sweeping in the direction of Sylvain Widmer. For Ruben Vargas. Widmer is still progressing to be an option. Xhaka, who's already tested Johansson once tonight. Widmer. Xhaka. Ruben Vargas. Fabian Rieder. Rodriguez. Unlucky. The late run of Remo Freuler. The physicality of Ken Stemmer to ensure that he couldn't get there. Just keep an eye on Freuler at the top of your picture. Stemmer did. Almost executed perfectly from Ricardo Rodriguez. Perhaps no surprise Switzerland looks so strong in these early stages. They have won their last 5 games in a row. Have broken a national team record within that run too. First time they've ever scored 3 or more goals in 5 consecutive games. Hansen's cross was wayward of any intended recipient. The flag is up too. Return ball, isn't it, from Isak to Bernd Hansen that's been penalised. No foul. I didn't quite get that right. Either did Alfedi, but he recovered to take it away from Bergvall again. It's Ruben Vargas, who can be such a threat in these wide areas for Switzerland. Freuler. Rodriguez. That's another good ball. Mbolo has just put that one wide. And there is frustration from the Swiss number 7 as well. It's another tremendous delivery from Ricardo Rodriguez. That's 2 in the space of a few minutes from him. Managed to dig it out and put it right on the head of Mbolo. Couldn't get the execution right. Concern for Sweden right now will be that it's not just Switzerland chances, it's presentable Switzerland chances as well. In the first 15 minutes there's been a few already. I mentioned this team are scoring goals for fun, 3 against Luxembourg, 3 against Slovenia this year, and in between those, 4 in the matches against Mexico, USA and Kosovo. So much room at the moment for Switzerland. Out comes Johansson again, that's the right call. Even got the shout from his goalkeeper. Xhaka, as ever, dictating things from those deep line positions. Switzerland were to get to the World Cup next summer, it would be his 6th major tournament. It would be brilliant Mbolo's as well, assuming both would be there. Alan Berami got to 6th with Switzerland, the only player who's ever been at more major tournaments. For those of the red and white persuasion, Xherdan Shaqiri. Emma for Sweden, showing his speed. Bergvall, and Gyökeres unable to reach it. Don't know whether Lucas Bergvall was trying to get it to his teammate or trying to get it in the corner. First time we've seen Semmer against Vidmar tonight. Beat the Swiss fullback with a lot of ease there, Ken Semmer. I think Bergvall is trying to nod it down for Gyökeres there. Maybe didn't trust himself that he had the power to beat Gregor Korbel. Ayari, Gyökeres. Bouncing off the boot of Reidar, out of his reach, retrieved again by Xhaka. Sweden's 30th game tonight against Switzerland, outside of all of their friends from Scandinavia. It is only Germany, Hungary and Austria that they have faced more times than the Swiss. First time these two have been together tonight since the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Round of 16 game in St. Petersburg, which Sweden won 1-0 thanks to a deflected Emil Forsberg goal. Switzerland to a World Cup quarter-final for the first time since 1994. Right now it's just about being at that World Cup next summer. Bergvall. Rodriguez and Akanji tidying things up for Switzerland. Here's Vargas. Three options up ahead of him here. Vidmar. They are willing to get forward, aren't they, those two Swiss fullbacks, Vidmar and Rodriguez. Here's the latter Rodriguez on towards Dan and Doy. Running and still running, and now in a real position of promise for Switzerland. Vidmar, too high for Ndoye, who was at the very back of the queue. Apology from Sylvain Vidmar, but I think Murat Yakin generally will be very happy with the first 19 minutes here from his Swiss team. In charge of his country for 4 years now, having replaced Vladimir Petkovic, who left shortly after European Championships in 2020 or 2021 as they were. 7 largely very happy years in the job, Petkovic. Bergvall lifting it forward, but at the moment Gyökeres cannot get into the game. He's getting no change at all out of Akanji. Here's again the Arsenal centre forward. That's a better ball. Space to Semmer. Semmer likes space. There's Alexander Isak, who was starting the race a couple of yards behind Dalvedi. Wearing the captain's armband tonight, Alexander Isak, for only the second time in his Swedish international career. Indeed, it is the very first time in a competitive match as well. The other occasion he's led the Sweden team before was in a friendly against Luxembourg. Goalless minutes in Solna, but certainly not without goal-mouth action. It's been very sprightly so far, just north of Stockholm. Idma. Fargas. Fargas trying to drive it towards Mbolo. Corner's got it back to him again. Scrambled away up towards Alexander Isak, who was hoping, I think, that Victor Gyökeres was further up the pitch than he was. Full show of frustration from the Liverpool centre-forward. Rodriguez. Has quickly moved that throw in the direction of Dan N'Doye. He's got a one-on-one situation with Isak Hien here. Might be keen to test the Swedish number 4 tonight, Switzerland, because he hasn't trained for most of the week because of injury. Bolo. Rather theatrical tumble, which Anthony Taylor, the referee, had full sight of and waved away immediately. Hudson. Out by Mbolo. His first goal for his club side Rennes at the weekend of the season, Real Mbolo. Real Gudmundsson being used in the back three tonight for Sweden, even though he primarily has been the left back for Leeds United for his club side in England's Premier League this season. But this is not an unfamiliar role for him. He said after that defeat to Kosovo, Jon Dahl Tomasson, that the team didn't play like Sweden. National media have been critiquing what that means in the week since then. Whether the country's football team are going through an identity crisis. They've been words that have been used frequently recently. Coming together between Hien and Mbolo. The referee is only stopping it because of a potential facial injury to Real Mbolo. Nothing more than the rough and tumble that you'd expect between a physical centre forward and a physical centre half. Games recently for his club side. Atalanta, Isak Hien had a thigh issue. He collected in a match against Torino. sailing for Murat Yakin since he came in as Switzerland head coach. There was a period where some pondered whether he would be in the position for too long, but managed to swing the favour back in his direction, at least from a coaching capacity. His love was always there from his time as a player with the national team. Maybe that's something that Jon Thomasson could point towards, because right now public favour isn't necessarily riding his way in Sweden. Bielka, the Braga defender. In with a clever pass out towards Van Hartsen. Gyökeres, Bergvall, Isak! Off the post and out of danger. Well, there, in a flash, are what Sweden have in their forward line tonight. Gyökeres and Bergvall creating, and Isak so close to finishing it. That's strikers at either end now that have hit the post in this first half tonight in Solna. Ayari's corner. That's the way of Hallström. Bielka's ended up on the floor. Ayari sent it back in, and Korbel's got hold of it. First moments of panic in the Swiss defence tonight. With a positive piece of defending for Sweden to get it back. Bergvall's lost it. Just wonder whether that chance for Sweden might just G them up a little bit. Would have been only Alexander Isak's second goal of this new season. The one that he did score was in a English League Cup game for Liverpool against Southampton. Have to factor in he hasn't had too many minutes since his arrival at Anfield. Xhaka, back to Rodriguez. He's got the corner out of Bielka. He was asking for a penalty, and so were that Swedish bench as well. Not sure how much of a view of the situation Jon Thomasson had. Taylor just having a quiet word with Granit Xhaka. This is corner number 6 of Switzerland's first half. Vargas to Ndoye. Ndoye towards Mbolo. In header. This is Xhaka. Made by Bergvall. Now by Ndoye on Gyökeres, even though the Sweden frustration will be evident, because Van Hartsen, I think, felt that he could start a quick counter-attack there. There he is, scampering away. This is the best chance that Sweden have had so far tonight, by some distance as well. In fact, for Gregor Korbel, the ball very nearly comes back off the post, back off him. He's not looking into the back of his own net. Started with some promise, didn't he, with his move to Arsenal. He scored 3 goals in his first 4 games, but 3 in 10 now for Viktor Gyökeres. Feel that perhaps he could do with a moment tonight as well. scored for Sweden in this calendar year since before he got here against Azerbaijan last November. Perez's header has fallen straight into the path of Freuler for Switzerland. There is still this tremendous feel to this game that has been there from the very start. From a Swedish perspective, there doesn't feel like there's too much control over the situation. It does feel open, it does feel like it potentially could explode at any time. There is more Swiss room here that Ruben Vargas is going to move into. Reception initially was from Ayari, but then given straight back to Switzerland. Vargas. Xhaka. This is Freuler. Intensity of the Swiss attack has gone now. All the way back with Gregor Korbel. Very much the Swiss number one after the retirement of Jan Sommer a year ago. Xhaka. And Ndoye. Van Tidmar, who is one of 8 in this Swiss squad with 50 or more caps. Well, they are still trying to at least give the impression, the Swedish supporters, of no problem, no panic. That's better from Gyökeres. Bernhardsson trying to locate Isak. Ayari keeping the attention of Vargas away. Sema. Isak. Foul. Hartson. Be a Switzerland throw. Not surprised that he is in the Swiss starting 11 tonight with Emil Holm available again. Actually playing his club football at the moment in the second tier of German football. Alexander Bernhardsson with Holsten Kiel. To sort his feet out. It wasn't the smoothest pass to him from Freuler. Elvedi carrying it forward for Switzerland. Saw him do that with great effect last month in Switzerland's big wins against Slovenia and Kosovo. Ndoye seen out of it by Bernhardsson, and Solna like that. Dan Ndoye might have been hurt, having either had a collision with that advertising hoarding, or maybe as he fell, didn't have the guile or the muscle in the end to get past Bernhardsson. Well, there was a bit of a bump, wasn't there, into the electronic display. Not too happy about it, Dan Ndoye. was Vargas' hard work that has allowed Ndoye to take it and take it well, and with options in the middle, Reeders making tracks. Olo was in there as well, but the ball wasn't able to find either of them. Euler. Widmer. Good game. He's having perhaps one of the brightest games from the Sweden perspective, Alexander Bernhardsson. Kept the decision that time from Anthony Taylor. It goes for Mbolo. He's taken Kian out there with him. Kian too strong for Mbolo, and he gets the free kick too. Superb defending from Isakim. Will say he was always in control of that situation, even though it was bouncing around a little bit. Granit Xhaka. 0-0, but you have to say it feels like Switzerland have got a grip of this game. Ndoye, Rodriguez, and I don't think a point would be viewed in any way as a negative point for Switzerland here tonight. It would just keep them on course to top the group. 2 games, 2 wins, still yet to concede Switzerland. Ndoye getting his wires crossed there with Ruben Vargas. Ready in there to collect it again. Vargas for Widmer. Sema showing the fighting spirit. Bayari feeling the push of Fabian Rieder. One of 2 Sweden players who have actually scored in these European qualifiers. Yasin Ayari got one of the 2 against Slovenia last month in that 2-2 draw. Turning it round the corner for Isak. Bernhardsson. Rodriguez, who has been left in a bit of a heap by Alexander Bernhardsson, who thought he had sight of the ball, but Rodriguez shut the view down quite quickly. Conversation that was happening in play between him and Widmer there as to who was going to run onto that pass. Well, Vargas, Bergvall, that's better from him. Gyökeres, Bergvall continuing his movement. Perhaps the short option that Bergvall wanted, it would have been a hopeful ball towards Isak or Gyökeres. Gudmundsson. Ayari. Better from Isak. Pass for Bergvall, but maybe not the calmness from Gregor Korbel either, who perhaps had a bit more time than he realised there. Isak just losing control of it. Xhaka setting it free for Ruben Vargas. Really good from Gudmundsson. Within a mighty sprint with Ruben Vargas to reach the ball there. Sweden right now just don't look like they have that same dynamic edge going forward that Switzerland do. Despite the fact they've got £180 million worth of talent in their forward line alone on the pitch. Great from Granit Xhaka, who has hurt himself in ensuring Switzerland get the ball, and then Bolo has lost it, and Anthony Taylor has decided that Switzerland are going to have a free kick. The angst from Jon Dahl Tomasson, because he felt that that passage of play had come and gone there. It was a fall from a great height though for Granit Xhaka, which would have hurt him. Good thing for Anthony Taylor, the referee tonight, is that he will know so many of the players on the pitch from regularly taking charge of Premier League games. Rodriguez. Keane is becoming more of a presence in the match now for Sweden as well, the centre-half. And Mbolo together again. Mbolo showing his strength. Johansson's a long way out of his goal again. Scampered back there now, and Ndoye can't get past Bernhardsson anyway. We've made some brave calls tonight, Victor Johansson, in terms of where he wants to have his starting position and when he wants to engage with play. Granit Xhaka saw the space, he stopped it. Perez fighting for it. Isak reaching it ahead of Akanji, and now he will go. Alexander Isak for Bergvall, who's made a mess of it. Bernhardsson. Oh, what a glorious chance for Sweden. Lucas Bergvall. It was nailed on for an opening goal for Sweden. And you wonder, you really do wonder how Lucas Bergvall doesn't have his first goal for his country. He will wonder. You can see that in the body language, even now. Well, of all the chances tonight for either team, and there have been plenty, that's the greatest of the lot. Neither letting it run, and Bolo. Xhaka, that's another great pass, this time to Dan Ndoye. Ndoye just waiting. Xhaka sending it in. Clearance. And away furthermore by Ayari. Rodriguez. Ndoye. Well, what that chance for Sweden will do is perhaps make them realise that there are holes to be found in this Switzerland defence. Vargas, Widmer. Inside the final 60 seconds of the first 45 minutes. Truly, it is slightly odd that we haven't had a goal tonight in Solna. Bergvall's foul on Xhaka. How did Bergvall miss it? He will be wondering, he will be pondering. sight of Lucas Bergvall, and about every 10 seconds he's shaking his head. To the final minutes of the first half. Switzerland apply some real pressure to Sweden here. Be kept active by Akanji. Rodriguez looping one up. Here's Granit Xhaka. Mikael Petty to Sultan Vidma. Just slowing things down, but we are in the final few seconds of this first half. Rodriguez recognising that, just trying to get one into the box. Bergvall with the block, and as the half-time whistle goes, Bergvall with what seems like the unmissable opportunity, but an opportunity spurned. What happened? He just almost stood on the ball, Bergvall, as it came his way. Nothing wrong with the ball at all from Alexander Isak. It is just one of those horrible, horrible moments for Lucas Bergvall. And the sort of moments as a coach when you're under a bit of pressure. It just feels like the walls are caving in slightly. No goals at half-time in Solna, but it's been a brilliant watch. Sweden 0, Switzerland 0. second half from Jesper Karlström, who was more than half a second late on Dan and Doy. Captain of his club this season, Udinese, Jesper Karlström, having been an almost ever-present with them in his first season in Serie A. Lots to like about Switzerland's first half as well in Solna. What actually is only the fourth meeting in 30 years between these two countries, and Sweden unbeaten in all of them. Mistake by Vidmar. Yari trying to hurry it on to Gyökeres. And Xhaka, who offered a exemplary first half there again. Together between Gyökeres and Rodriguez. Left the Swedish forward in some pain. Wasn't awarded his own Victor Gyökeres at the Ballon d'Or ceremony last month. Won the Gert Müller Trophy, which is for the player that has scored the most goals across the season for club and country. No one really got too close to the 63 that Victor Gyökeres managed for Sweden and for Sporting. Embolo powering on and then sent to the ground by Isakim. Using his body well there. Foul that maybe Isakim had to make because Switzerland had a run on Sweden there. Yellow card as well. I think the yellow card has maybe gone the way of Manuel Akanji. We'll get that cleared up in a minute. Must have been something that was said. Yeah, confirmation it is Akanji who has been booked. So that is the first yellow card of the evening out of Anthony Taylor's pocket. Had quite a hectic first half. Victor Johansson in the Sweden goal. Now the man who is guarding the net in the unexpected retirement of Robin Olsen. And Xhaka perhaps from here. Xhaka is into the wall. And then the distribution of his pass to Rodriguez wasn't great either. And Sweden can break. Gyökeres to Bergvall. Bergvall to Ayari, who wasn't clean with the connection. But again, the signs that Sweden are capable of hurting Switzerland on the counter-attack. Led by Gyökeres, the endeavours of Bergvall to be a part of it as well. Maybe, if anything, the ball was slightly behind Yasin Ayari from Lucas Bergvall. Isak, after the robustness of Keane, won it back to Sweden. Now Seba. The centre-half Keane again. Karlström, the nudge enough to send Embolo down. All the way back to Victor Johansson. Can't imagine would have been expecting this opportunity tonight a few weeks ago. Robin Olsen did play in that game against Kosovo last month, but he has said he won't play again for Sweden as long as Jon Dahl Tomasson is the coach. Very publicly gave his version of events, Robin Olsen as well. Said that Jon Dahl Tomasson had given him his word that he'd be number one, and then rang him after the Kosovo game to let him know that he'd be dropping him for the next set of internationals. And also says that that is not a coach that he wants to work under. Giving away the free kick. Bolo. Reader with enough pace to find Dan and Doy. It's Dan and Doy and Johansson pushing it away. Well found by Reader, because it just meant that Bernhardsson had to get out to meet Dan and Doy. Shifted for space. Again, not the most convincing of goalkeeping from Johansson. Granit Xhaka for Switzerland. On by Freuler. Rodriguez. Away from Bergvall. Sema for Sweden, up towards Gyökeres. Bergvall making his move forward. Freuler stopping it. Rodriguez's cross, and Bolo just trying to guide it down for Sylvain Bidma. Post in the first half, brilliant Bolo. Then on for this potential 6 games in a row with goals for brilliant Bolo, which, by the way, no Switzerland player has done since Leopold Kielholz back in the 1930s. Eric Yakin has spoken about how he's worked on efficiency in front of goal with brilliant Bolo. Gyökeres using his power well, giving it to Isak. Touched by Freuler. And too much of a touch from Kallström on Reader. The bounce enough, I think. Freuler on the ball there on Isak. The main contact from Jesper Kallström was out of shot there, but it certainly happened. Bolo chasing, out comes Johansson, caught by Bolo, who is immediately offering his apologies. Not got his goal tonight, brilliant Bolo, but he has been a bit of a handful for Sweden's defence, and Isak Hien in particular. Rodriguez with the Switzerland throw. Now with Real Betis in Spain, he's into his 5th different country in terms of playing football, Ricardo Rodriguez. Wait for a Conference League runner-up with the Spanish side last season. Nobody on that pitch will be more keen to have an impact in this second half than him. Maniari taking it well. Goodmanson for Sema, who will be quicker than Bidma, but the head start helps the Swiss defender. Good work by Vargas to get the goal kick. They do have a record in Solna, and a good one as well. First city in Europe to host all 4 big football championships. The FIFA Men's World Cup, which of course was here, but not specifically inside this stadium. Back in 1958, they've had the Women's World Cup in Solna, the Men's European Championship and the Women's European Championship here too. All eyes right now on 2026 for Sweden. Swedish corner. Ayari with some pace. Here is Stemmer. Has probably lofted that too close to Korbel, and indeed he has. Very stable goalkeeper for club side Borussia Dortmund as well. He's been the #1 there for 5 seasons now in Germany. A Swiss goalkeeper to play in the Champions League final as well. Rodriguez turning it forward for Remo Freuler. Doi. Saka. And trying to craft something. There's the chance. It's Vargas. Not once but twice. And neither opportunity bearing fruit for Switzerland. Lidmer. Xhaka. So Elvedi to Manuel Akanji. Switzerland chances arriving still with regularity. Ruben Vargas. Broken up by Jesper Karlström. Jokeres has his legs taken away by Mikael Elvedi. Positive moment for Victor Johansson in the Sweden goal. Fabian Rieder's ball right onto the head of Ruben Vargas. The secondary block was from Stemmer rather than Johansson. Between the two of them, they did the job. Like hot potato at first for Victor Johansson. Comes the first Swiss change, that's Gibril So of Sevilla. It's on for Fabian Rieder. Lidmer. Captain with his side Mainz in Germany. And Doi does have one Premier League goal this season with Nottingham Forest. That came on his debut, but left his previous club Bologna with the best headline of the lot because he scored the winner in the Coppa Italia final for Bologna against Milan. He's going to have to just work a bit to reach that, especially with Gudmundsson closing him down. Xhaka. Lidmer. And there's deflection unable to be stopped by Johansson. 30 minutes for Jon Dahl Tomasson's team to find the goal to reignite their European qualifying campaign. where his allegiances lie tonight. He's quite used to being involved in an international team wearing red. Jon Dahl Tomasson, the Dane. Corner for Switzerland from Vargas. Rodriguez doesn't have enough purchase on it to beat the crowd. Perez not able to scamper away from Remo Freuler. Keep this one in play, Jokeres. It's the most straightforward task. Running into trouble. Ayari. Bergvall presenting it back to Switzerland again. Rodriguez. And Doy, beautifully done. Breezing away from Bernhardsen. This is Gibril So, and that is a Switzerland penalty. And I don't really think there can be too many complaints. He's only been on the pitch a few minutes, Gibril So, but he has won Switzerland the penalty. Bernhardsen is the offender. It is difficult to see from those replays, though, how much contact there actually was between Bernhardsen and Gibril So. Taylor very quick initially to give the penalty, but will now be advised by tonight's VAR Michael Salisbury. Jon Dahl Tomasson might have had sight of a replay already, the Sweden coach. Shake of the head and a hope of a reprieve from Alexander Bernhardsen here. This is a nervous wait for Solna, and unfortunately we are getting word that the penalty has been confirmed. From a Sweden perspective, that is not the news they wanted to hear. And the big story of the night, of the last few weeks, Robin Olsen's international retirement, the opportunity for Victor Johansson tonight, and what an opportunity for the Sweden goalkeeper to endear himself to all of his country. Big moment for Sweden's new #1. The cool head of Granit Xhaka over the penalty for Switzerland. And he scores it. And Switzerland right now taking another giant stride towards the 2026 World Cup. The first goal in 2 years in Swiss colours for Granit Xhaka. And that crushing feeling for Sweden again in this Group B. They are almost in this unimaginable situation where finishing at the top of the group might be beyond them after 3 games. Switzerland aren't quite out of their reach. Not just on the night, but in the group either, but it is close. It is very, very close to being second or nothing from here for Sweden, who have introduced off the back of that goal Anton Salatros. Here's Embolo, and Doy. Embolo again! Still there for Vargas. Vargas across. Sweden living dangerously, living on the edge. Rodriguez puts away by Hien. How close was that to 2 in a couple of minutes for Switzerland? it was Ndoye making things happen. It just ends up hitting the back of Gabriel Gudmundsson. Minutes Sweden to look a whole lot more convincing than they have done in the hour or so that has gone before. Bergvall, who had that chance at 0-0, which could have made things so different. Van Hasten, this is Salatros, the substitute. Bolo being applauded by multiple members of Switzerland's team for his defensive duties there. Bolo's going to chase this one. Keane has dealt with it. Gudmundsson quickly forward towards Isak. Let's not forget, had his moment in the first half as well, which came off the Swiss post. Bolo again, showing why he's so effective going both ways. And Ndoye. Chibrosseau, who won that penalty. Ruben Vargas, Switzerland are stretching Sweden now. Sisma. And he's taking it again from Freuler. And Bolo! The ball had gone out to play. Didn't quite keep it in still, Van Bidmer. The last Switzerland win against Sweden, 1994. Roy Hodgson was in charge of that Swiss side. It's been a while. Sema. There's the Swedish spark coming from. Seven months since Sweden's last competitive win, which came here against Azerbaijan. To try and find a way to break down this Switzerland team that, do not forget, are still yet to concede in Group B of these European qualifiers. Rather stark statistic that might have just flashed up on your screen there as well. Still not a single shot on target from Sweden tonight either. Statistic, unfortunately, that will do nothing to stop those that are criticising Jon Dahl Tomasson right now. They're having the time of their life in the away end, those Swiss supporters. Look like they're going back to another major tournament, Switzerland. And when they're at tournaments, they tend to be very consistent as well. There are only two nations who have reached the knockout stage in each of the past 6 major tournaments. Switzerland are one of them, France are the other. No goals, by the way, in the other game in Group B tonight between Kosovo and Slovenia. which from a Switzerland perspective is an ideal scoreline, because if they win here tonight and win in their next game against Slovenia, and Kosovo do not win against Sweden, Switzerland will be going to the World Cup, and they will know that in the month of October with 2 games to spare. Xhaka. Soy looks quite sprightly. Overrun the situation, giving away the free kick. Double change from Jon-Dahl Tomasson. Here comes Emil Holm. Some perhaps surprised that he wasn't in the team from the start tonight, ahead of Van Haasten, who, to his credit, has probably been one of the brighter performances of this Sweden team, despite giving away the penalty. That's Daniel Svensson. He made his debut a year ago. We're going to see Luka Jaquez as well make his Switzerland debut very shortly. Another play by Vargas. There's an urgency to try and start the Sweden attack, which Isak is going to happily carry out. Given away the free kick. What is fast turning into a very frustrating night for Sweden's forwards. So here he comes. 22-year-old Stuttgart man, Luka Jaquez, has called this opportunity a dream come true. First ever appearance for him, for his country. Certainly unmistakable tonight as well, with the facial mask on, having broke his nose last month. Probably the reason actually he wasn't involved in the September international squad, Luka Jaquez, because I think Burak Yaqin has wanted to have him involved for some time now. Lots of hopes that he could be one of the successors to Akanji and Alfedi. Tried quite a lot of options back there already, Burak Yaqin, to see who might be next coming through, the likes of Chomet and Gartenman, Abid Hajdari as well, who has since switched his international allegiances to Kosovo. For him, though, corner is the decision. Bolo there. Is there one more touch? I don't think there was. That's immensely hard for his team tonight, brilliant Bolo. Xhaka, who's orchestrated everything. Back to Vargas. Retrieved by Ayari. Is it the wrong side of Salatros? Had their rhythm all night, really, Sweden. For Switzerland. Story still with the running power in the legs. Halted by the sliding Anton Salatros, who prior to tonight had started every single one of Sweden's matches. 2025. For Freuler, instead it's trickled through for Ndoye. Rodriguez. Freuler. Got his current club teammate on the pitch now in Emil Holm. The two of them play together for Bologna in Italy. Freuler was speaking about that this week. He said Switzerland had to win here tonight because otherwise he wouldn't hear the last of it for Emil Holm from the next month. Heave downfield from Johansson. Zach just not carrying that level of sharpness that we associate with him. Those inside the ground tonight, there must be this growing fear that Sweden are not going to be at that World Cup next summer. Didn't get to Qatar in 2022, they were there in Russia in 2018, but that's the only World Cup Sweden have been present at in the last 4 editions. It was 2006 before that. Interesting, we haven't seen Anthony Elanga from the bench tonight either for Sweden. Amongst the substitutes. And trying to go direct towards Gyökeres. They are looking for different options now, Sweden. Whether it is in the air or on the ground, there has not been a way to unpick this Swiss defence. Trying to run in behind, stopped by Akanji. And then Isak again to reach the pieces. Trusting himself. Did he carry that out there? I think he might have done. It's a corner. He's almost a bit too confident there, the Debutant. Benson left him with nowhere to go. Unexpected opportunity for Sweden, and Diari wants to get on with it quickly, though. Isak has taken his eye off it. There is no escaping it. It's been a very difficult night for Alexander Isak. He's not the only one in yellow and blue tonight that will be feeling that way. I guess so, when you have the sort of profile and price tag on your head that Alexander Isak does, then the more critical eyes are on you. It's just not clicking for Sweden. Whether we're going to see the first 90 minutes of Alexander Isak's season. There's Dejan Kulusevski, one player that Sweden are without right now because of injury, one player they could really do with tonight. Creativity is sorely lacking right now in this team. Bolo chasing, hurrying again in Bolo, making it awkward. Hampton dealt with the bouncing ball well. For long periods in this game, not just in the second half, Switzerland have had an iron-like grip of the situation. It's another foul for Switzerland. The incandescent Gabriel Gudmundsson making connections with Mbolo rather than the ball, according to Anthony Taylor. The bottom of the boot of the Swiss forward. Vargas is lingering over this free kick while Johansson's trying to organise his wall here. He might think about having another strike for goal number 2 of the night. It is very much within range as well of Victor Johansson's goal. We're still hurriedly trying to get everything into position, the Sweden goalkeeper. Kanji, who at the end of it all probably wasn't the one we expected to have a go. Maybe on reflection wasn't the one that should have had a go. From Vargas to passing comes the teenager, Johan Manzambi. Dynamic box-to-box midfielder. Club football in Germany with Freiburg. Only his 5th cap tonight. He has already scored for Switzerland, did so in Nashville against the United States in June. Straight away he's on the ball as well, Manzambi. And with acres of room too for those fresh legs to run into. And it's a terrific pass which Ndoye maybe just in the first half perhaps would have reached, but he's put a lot into the night down in Ndoye and the legs couldn't quite get there. Now Isak clipping one up to Gyökeres. Smoothly done by the Swiss defence. Bielka. Time is disappearing quickly for Sweden in Solna. We are inside the final 6 minutes now. Svensson. Gudmundsson. Heen. This is Emil Holm. Gyökeres. Bergfoul. Bergfoul is blundered again. Not his night, not Sweden's night, it would seem. That was good from Gyökeres. It was a lovely initial touch by Bergfoul to open up the picture for himself, to take it away from Akanji. And then maybe just hurried at the vital moment. Crippling ending as well to the evening for Lucas Bergfoul, because that was his very last touch, and that will hurt. So he is off. On comes the 19-year-old and highly talented Barcelona man, Rooney Bargaji. It's his debut, but it is not the sort of situation he'd be wanting to walk into. Manzambi for Switzerland. Good strength from Manzambi. Nearly came out with the ball as well. Kez. Freuler. 2. Petty. Freuler again. Xhaka. Touch Jaquez. Right, few minutes since he's come off the bench from Johan Manzambi. We'll be thinking about who their future forward-thinking players are with the absolute confirmation we won't be seeing Xherdan Shaqiri again in a Swiss shirt. I mean, he did retire just over a year ago, but there has been some murmurings recently of a possible return, but Murat Yakin shut that conversation down in his pre-match press conference this week. And club football in Switzerland again now. Xherdan Shaqiri with Basel, shot again actually in the Europa League last week against Stuttgart. Holm. A little better from Sweden and from the man who's just come on, the youngster, Bargaji. Holm powering his way into the penalty area, getting the corner as well. It's good from Emil Holm. Moving it quickly, Gyökeres lurking. Korbel plunging on the ball. Looking for his first Sweden goal of 2025, Viktor Gyökeres. Be a second game in a row that Sweden have failed to score in these European qualifiers, having blanked against Kosovo last month. That late goal they conceded in their first game against Slovenia is looking more decisive by the game, isn't it? He was being held on to by Gibraltar. Cup hopes are hazy right now for Sweden, unless they can grab something from somewhere here. Gyökeres doing well. Svensson. Oh, that's really nice from Rudi Bargaji. He was hoping the free kick was going to come his way too. He is such a talent. 19 years old. I mean, Sweden have been waiting in terms of the national team to see him wear their colours for the senior side for a long time now. Brilliant at Copenhagen in the last couple of seasons, got his move to Barcelona, could have gone anywhere really in Europe. Five minutes to play in Solna. Tonight it feels like Sweden could have another 50 and not score. No one will be ruminating more than Lucas Bergvall as well, having had a good chance in the second half, an unbelievably good one in the first. This experienced Switzerland team capable of shutting the game down and possibly finishing Sweden off here. Manzambi. Freuler, nicely weighted back to Manzambi, who's dug the cross out towards Mbolo. Bounces out to Freuler. Manzambi. Mbolo. Maybe not going to be 6 consecutive games with a goal tonight for Bril Mbolo, but the impact on his team certainly won't be lost on his manager, Murat Yakin. Been lots of very hearty performances in this Switzerland team tonight. This outcome, if indeed it is going to be a Switzerland win, is going to just ramp up the pressure a little more on Jon Dahl Tomasson. Xhaka. Rodriguez. Need the ball in Switzerland's half. They cannot even get the ball of Switzerland in their own half at the moment. This is a bit of a masterclass from Switzerland in terms of shutting down a game. Toy. Know where he's heading. To Mbolo. Goal kick. Right at the very end of the game between Kosovo and Slovenia, by the way, the other match in Group B, and it is still 0-0. Mbolo wins the ball back and Johansson is forced to go back to Johansson. So that scoreline combined with this scoreline means that potentially the next game against Slovenia, if they win it and Kosovo don't beat Sweden, they are going to the World Cup. Manzambi. Freuler offering more still to get forward. Manzambi! It's in! And Switzerland have their win. The teenager Johan Manzambi, so bright on his introduction from the bench. A piece of fortune making sure, but there is no doubt about it. Switzerland have controlled this tonight, and their success in Solna is warranted. Mbolo was the one who won the ball back initially. Fresh legs of Manzambi. The unlucky deflection of Isakien, which was a deceptive touch too many for Victor Johansson in the Sweden goal. It will be Manzambi's goal, it will be his second for his national team, and it certainly will be Switzerland's night. And to give it its shortest headline, it is a night where Switzerland have been clinical and Sweden have not. And the only noise now of any positivity is coming from the Switzerland supporters, who are having the time of their life, and they're going to have the night of their life in Sweden tonight, I imagine. Enjoying the prospect of a major tournament again, which is also close now. A mighty night for Switzerland, and a crippling and disappointing one for Sweden. Johan Manzambi with the late second after Granit Xhaka's penalty put Switzerland in front. But they have controlled the game, they have executed the plan perfectly. And for Jon Dahl Tomasson, some serious pressure beginning to grow on the Sweden coach. It is not impossible for Sweden to finish top of Group B, but it is about as close to improbable as you can get from here. 3 wins out of 3 for Switzerland. They are still yet to concede in Group B. They are knocking at the door of the 2026 World Cup, and a long, long way further back down that road is where you'll find Sweden. It has finished in Solna. Sweden 0, Switzerland 2.